Hello, babes. Back again to talk about a brand new finished object. Because I did another test. So, okay, where do we start? From the very get-go, the very beginning, I stash dived and I had been gifted a lot of yarn from, well, I guess basically inherited from a friend of a friend of a friend that passed away. And this was one of them. Annie Blatt, Tahiti. This is a, when I looked it up, like I Googled it, and I think somebody had it on Ravelry, but also if you've not done this, you could do like wraps per inch, and then you can Google how many wraps per inch each category of yarn provides, and that's where you can figure out what class of yarn you might have if it's like a random thing that you find that isn't labeled. And not always are the labels accurate anyway, so it's a cool thing to be able to know. So this is 65% viscose, 35% cotton. It is 98 yards and per 50 grams. And each of these little ball cake thingamajiggies are 50 grams. So I use quite a few of them. Their colorways are given in numbers. So this is 2177 lot 50 or 57122. So I'll show you later, but like in more detail, but this is my Cardiana. I did size 1 and I am a 34 bust. And I did the Ruana version. So this is technically like sleeveless-ish. The Cardiana has like a longer sleeve here. I don't know like which I like better. I think that would be the hardest decision, and I'm very grateful that Laura made that decision for me. This yarn is kind of like a cording. You see that twist? So I would say the shine is from the viscose, and then the cotton is more of the muted part. And y'all, during this, I don't work with like a white very often, and I thought this was white. And then I spilt tea on it. So I ended up having to dye the full-on thing, and you can't tell now, and I love this color that it did create, but in the midst of that, I realized this is not like a white, it's like a yellowy white. Even still here, it looks like a white. And this, I also made a belt. I didn't do her suggestion of belt because I kind of didn't want like a flat piece that I had to deal with, and I wanted it to be more like cord-like an I-cord. So this is a cord that I learned to make when making the Wild Rose backpack from All About Ami. And this is a tassel from Alexandra Davidoff. Mine's a little bit modified, but basically I just wanted to be luxe because I'm glam and extra like that. So I rated my beads and I found like these things. This was actually like, I think, a necklace from a long time ago that I kept. I love to repurpose things like that rather than just trash it. Maybe it was a necklace that broke, or I don't know, it could have been a bracelet. I really don't remember. I've been hoarding that for a while, and sometimes tools like that come in handy. So if you have like a little bead box, like I have like a bead box and buttons. So if you have something like that, like you can just, it's not taking up too much space. And I can fit a lot in there. I will link in the description where you can find how to make that. And I just like modified and customized according to my own length and desires as far as this, because like Alexandra Davidoff has like a little wood bead that you can wrap more. I basically just made 2 tassels, layered them. Maybe they could use a little bit better cleanup and trimming, you know, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. So you'll see later, but this is a nice cash thing to wear, just around the house like this, or just as an accessory. And then like, so the tie would be nice if you had like a little swim wrap. And I tied it like in a knot, but you could do like a bow too. Oh, that's so cute, right? And I love kind of that mine is a different color because I didn't dye this and I dyed tea bath that. But what I was trying to say earlier, I totally forgot, the cording. So when I was swatching that, I realized that I was going to need a heavy block. I heavy blocked to be able to reach the dimensions for gauge. So I knew my finished object was going to have to be heavy blocked. And I love how it opened up all of the lace. So the way this is constructed is basically 2 panels. And as you can see in the back, that's where it joins. And then you get a little neckline here. And she does say like, she gave us a stitch count to join to, but you can always decrease that amount or increase that amount because we all have different torsos, right? And the way things would fit might be different for all of us. So it's okay to customize, especially when it's not a test. But for me, I kind of like the structure of a test. So I also love to hear about how you guys get encouraged to do tests. So then once you make the 2 panels and you join them, they're like made long. So the stitching, it would be like this, like sideways that you're stitching it. And so then it seems like a while because you're basically making like the width of all the way this, all the way around, and then all the way down. But it's just 2 panels and the width this way is not near as long. So once you reach like closer to the end, you're like, ooh. And I know like in the Captiva, did I put this on back? I put this on backwards, you guys, or inside out, not backwards. Okay. Let's redo this. Okay, so you can actually get the ridges view. I'm all like this, you can't even tell, like there are ridges, texture. Anyway, so yeah, so then you do it like that, and then it joins in the back, and then you add the little, like a little edging here for the Ruana, but for the Cardiana, you would be adding more length for the arms. And then you get a little bit of edging down here. And I think that that's really where the design like pops. Those little extras really add. This fiber is incredible. I love the lightweight of it, but I know it's probably something discontinued and rare to find. So if I have any suggestions, I would say like, I love cotton, and I think this would be great as a summer staple, but it could be used as like an accessory for any season. So I know that she did this as a collab with the Frosted Stitch, and the Frosted Stitch has specific colorways for this, and they are fantastic. I love the way that she blends all the colors in there, and it makes it more like speckly, but like a color. So you should definitely check those out, and I'll add a link to her shop in the description as well. Compared to the Captiva with the slip stitches here, I would say this is a lot easier because this is a larger hook size. At least for me, I got to get closer engaged with her, which was fantastic. I didn't have to use a little baby needle or baby hook. So yes, the repeat is lovely. The layout is lovely. Laura is a genius. And you want this Cardiana. So follow the journey here and you'll see everything that I was talking about, the tea bath. Don't worry, it all works out in the end. You can also see the few different ways that I styled it. I mean, basically this thing is like fantastic to wear with literally anything.
under the sun.
To see all the tester versions. I mean, you know it's a fantastic pattern when literally everybody looks like a dang goddess. Claps for everybody involved, and I hope that you enjoy your Cardiana too, because you're gonna make one, right?
Yeah.